I hope if ZSX is listening on the panel, I hope he takes note. I hope that all friends and family and certain
but what's
people
that
in the
mean
Quake
coming
community.
from me, though, right? What does that mean? What does that actually mean?
So don't worry, you've got credibility. It's absolutely
so
fine.
one person out there has called you a pro player. All right, we're good to go on that. But talking to Strenx, he doesn't know much about BaSe, right? And for you, go into a match when you don't know much about the opponent. Strenx was saying he's just focusing on playing his own game. And you have to talk about how that's so important.
I know. You have to. You might feel that it's slightly unpredictable at the point, and you might see a fairly passive style at the beginning, maybe from both players. But Strenx has got far more of... he's already been on so many streams, on so many broadcasts, so you kind of know what he's going to do to some extent. But him versus BaSe, a very small amount of history. Strenx is going to have to ease himself into this game.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are loading into the game. It's going to be Strenx up against BaSe. We're seeing Strenx start off with his Ranger up against BaSe on his Nyx. So again, we talked about Nyx earlier on being a very important pick, especially for BaSe here. But he's going with the Visor and the BJ to follow up with, where Strenx is running the Visor and the Nyx. So talk to us about the matchups here in terms of these champions.
Well, if Strenx is hoping to get any dire or frags, then he's going to have a tough, a tough time at actually even getting close to that because of the small target. Really, it's a question of both of these guys have great mobility and escape abilities with their abilities, many abilities. So I expect there's going to be a play on exactly how the cooldowns run. Oh,
great timing there of Strenx too to get the Mega and the Heavy at the same time, realizing that BaSe backed away through the teleporter. So now he has a lot of stack form. He has a lot of control in this game, and you can see BaSe, I think, respecting this. He's realizing, yeah, I've kind of lost out on the major pickups. I need to sit back and look for another time to fight.
Yeah, he wants to get an armor, but he doesn't want to pop his Ghost Walk to have to do anything. He's saving that for a special occasion of some sort. And he's been stood here now for the best part of 20 seconds or so. He's gaining information. He saw just a glimmer of it. And he's going to actually sit on the Mega. That's so risky from BaSe.
Yeah, he wanted to go for the pickup there, and I think he actually did get it, but it didn't matter because the damage that BaSe could, or sorry, that Strenx could do was just a little bit too strong for now. The Nyx is gone. We see BJ being picked up here for BaSe. And now playing BJ from behind, being down a champion, does that kind of affect how you have to play with him? Do you have to get more aggressive with him, or can you afford to play passive in this situation?
Well, he's got the lightning gun, which is something very important. So
just when we start talking about it, that's a cast of curse, right?
Yeah, quite. I mean, he had to slow down a little bit there. And Strenx is a phenomenally good aimer, but sometimes you just don't expect him to pull this out.
Oh my gosh, the 7-gun coming through and the jumping rail. BaSe is going to go down. 1:47 seconds on the clock. And Strenx has claimed his first round here on Blood Run. If that's any indication of how this match is going to go, it might be a quick one.
Yeah, very much so. You know why I said there's the either or? There's either he's going to grow into the series as the maps favor him a bit more, or he's just going to explosively take him out 2-0. We might be leaning towards option B.
It looks like it so far here. We're going to see him again on the Ranger base again, starting on the Nyx for a second time. Both the pickups already taken with Strenx getting the heavy armor and BaSe getting the mega health here. Maybe BaSe is going to have a stronger start. We talk about momentum. Oh, the Dire coming through for an easy 100 damage. He can't follow up with the railgun. So Ghost Walk's going to be there. And as you just said, like this, waiting with the gauntlet for him to come through that teleporter.
There's the shotgun. Savage.
I can hear Red Eye downstairs saying, all right, say the rest. Say the rest. And this is just phenomenal here out of Strenx. Again, picks up the mega health. Looking for the heavy armor. Does do a hell of a lot of damage again to BaSe on the BJ with just a sliver of HP left, being forced to back away. I really feel like Strenx, and I'm not really grasping for straws here when I say this, but I feel like he just has such solid control of this match so far.
BaSe is trying to do things that he shouldn't. He's risking health and armor in order to get on items. He can't do that. He should stop challenging his aim and play on the corners of the map a little bit more and just make sure he can slowly get himself onto some of the weapons. That's really the only way he's going to get himself in the game at the moment, unless Strenx starts making the same errors that BaSe is.
He's looking for the rail from the underside, waiting for Strenx to go for that jump, but Strenx being very patient here. I have to give him credit for that, realizing that he was actually under him, and he's taking a lot of damage from these rockets. We're going to pick up the mega health to survive for now, and the armor's being picked up. He's being juggled in the sky with the lightning. Got 35 HP left to go. He's got to back away. The dual wield has been popped. He has 7 health. He's going for the challenge. Why, son? He's going to finally back off, pick up some health orbs here. But that was very close, and that's what BaSe needed to get back in this. Yeah,
that was absolutely nice. I've got to say, fair play to Strenx with that quick thinking with a Dire Orb to secure himself onto the big armor ledge to get himself out of the line of fire, because that dual wield was out, and it was absolutely savaging him.
You really have to respect the dual wield. I mean, when you have the LGs, that amount of damage that can come out is really... can be surprising, can be shocking sometimes if you underestimate it at all. But now finally BaSe, this is what we wanted to see to get this match going, right? To see more of an even battle. He's finally been able to get his way back into this with some good aggression, especially with the dual wield timings. Got 8 seconds left to go before he can use it again. And He's being a little bit passive here. He's down a champion, but he's still got, what, like basically 3 minutes of time left to even worry about that
at the moment. At the moment, definitely. He can afford to play sneaky and around the corners of the map for now. But when you get to the 4-minute mark and something still hasn't happened, that's when you've got to force a play. A rail for rail each. It's the last rail that counts, and Strenx is going to pick that one up.
BaSe committed for the shots that hit 2 of them. Couldn't hit the 3rd, and that's going to be the death of him here. Now down 2 champions and giving Strenx a lot of control of this map again. He has the Mega, he has the Heavy. He's now a tank here. And BaSe with the Visor, he's going to have the opportunity to see where Strenx is, but it doesn't seem to really matter too much because, yeah, even with BaSe knowing where he is, he's just not able to hit the shots.
Exactly, and if you're trying to challenge... Okay, we're going to get another aim fight here.
24 HP left. He has a Darrow to get away here, but it looks like BaSe is not going to go for the chase. Still has 2 minutes left to go on the clock here, but he has the Heavy up to his left-hand side. He's got the Mega come up in a second. I believe he has the timings for these 2. Maybe not the Mega, at least. Trying to spot exactly where Strenx is coming from.
That was just the Strenx using the Blood Ball really to build up his health a bit. You get 5 health pretty much every second as you stand in it. And there's 2 of those spots on the map next to the teleporters.
So we talked about momentum, right? And how getting too aggressive can kind of cause a switch here. BaSe was able to get some control back, but now, even with the control in terms of, stack, he's not getting the fights that he wants. There's only a minute and a half left to go here, and he's down 2 champions. Yeah,
and we're seeing, though, that BaSe is starting to not get as out-aimed as before. I'm worrying about the clock a lot. BaSe has got to do something about it. He's got a stack. Great, you've completed step 1. This is step 2.
Darrow going to come through. BaSe does get the kill. Nice little rail comes in. But now he's got to get 1 more. He's got a minute and 10 left to go to pull us off. He has not a lot of HP to work with here. 75 health. There should be 1 rail to end this second round.
That's
here.
The paranoia. He's not having a seizure, guys. He's just thinking that Nyx is sneaking up on him. And he's going to find him right there. Strenx! How has he let BaSe get back into this game so much? It was 3 champions alive versus just this Visor, and now we've got a mirror matchup.
I don't know where the Ghost Walk was. Maybe he used it before. We're going to see Sights come in, spot out where Strenx is going to be. He's going to have to run away from this. The Lightning Gun being for the chase. Strenx will survive for now, looking for that heavy armor potentially, and BaSe has really got himself back into this. With 30 seconds left to go before we do hit a sudden death, which is basically just a normal game anyways, considering they have 1 champion left alive each.
Exactly.
But with double Visors, that's where things get really interesting here.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to expect. I like what BaSe was doing before when he was pushing around corners before Strenx had a lot of the weapons. And that's really only rail for Strenx. He's hitting a lot. He's hit. Oh my god. A little flick at the end there. That's a nice little touch. Just when there's a little bit of doubt in people's minds whether he could accomplish that. He pulls off that. The
composure, too. I mean, I know if I was in that situation, you could probably talk about it a lot more. You have an LG hitting you from the front side. Do you stick with the rail? Do you switch off to LG yourself? Do you switch to rockets?
You look like a genius sometimes when you pull it off, and sometimes if it doesn't work, you can look a little bit silly. But
don't beat around the bush.
You trust Strenx with his rail aim, so more often than not, he's just looking pretty good doing it.
He gets the first kill again onto BaSe. This Nyx pick for BaSe has just not really worked out. BJ being, I think he popped his DueL off the bat here, trying to maybe get the kill since he did do a lot of damage to Strenx, but he's able to heal up again. Still has a Dire Orb. But I mean, BaSe being down, 1-2 champions as we just saw in that prior round is not a big deal for him.
Just a little bit of information there for Strenx to tell him,
he missed.
Mr. Junt, this might not punish him unless BaSe realizes this. He thinks he's at the top. Never seen someone so disorientated, but Strenx has just... Well, he just missed the rail, but has managed to stack himself up so he's not railable as well.
Funny enough, that missed Dire Orb actually almost worked out for Strenx there to pick up that kill. If he hit that rocket earlier on, it could have been BaSe falling and losing another champion. But he's going to have his DueL back up. He's got the Mega. The Heavy is still contestable. Well, the Dire Orb being used, he's got it. Yeah, this time, he's not missing it. And he escapes, most importantly. So it looks like the game's going to slow down just a tad bit here. But if you're a BJ, you're looking for a close quarter combat, a CQB fight. The problem is you're up against a Ranger who could potentially telefrag you.
Yeah, that's absolutely critical. And the larger champion you're playing, the more and more conscious you are of that possibility. They're going to sneak up, and that definitely favored BaSe.
Strenx, he's not really hitting too many of these rockets so far. His rails, as you've been saying, have been on point, as well as his LG, but for some reason the RL's not working out for him at the moment. So he has been, I guess, able to read into most of these shots, but the DueL is available. He's right around the corner from him. He's going to charge straight up. He's not going to pop it, but he's just looking for the flat-out damage. He's looking for the kill to save his ability into a next round. And with the LG coming in, the 7-gun is doing the work, and Strenx will fall. 2 minutes left on the clock here, and BaSe is able to tie things up.
Yeah, very well played from them there. That first rocket he had in the entrance and getting a great rail off the spawn for Strenx. Absolutely excellent.
That was dirty. Mega's going to be up. He's not going to be able to pick it up at least, but he pops a duel, but it has the double LGs.
Wow.
But Strenx is the kill with the rocket launcher. Maybe not a situation he should have been able to secure that one, but he gets it nonetheless, and not BaSe. He's got time to work with, but he's got to find a kill on the Nyx, which is so hard to do. But luckily for him, keep in mind, if you're new here to Quake Champions, Visor's ability can see through this invisibility, this ghost walk that Strenx can use on Nyx.
It's often used for sort of zoning out. You can protect items and get yourself onto an armor on a Mega just because they fear those rockets around the corner and rails. Ouch.
I think that had to been confidence out of Strenx.
Yeah, again, that's something that he tends to do. He tends to feel that he is definitely the better aimer, and that he almost expects that respect from enemy players sometimes, and also just doubts their ability to connect the shots.
Well, that's what we've been saying as well about Strenx, is that he's a very emotional player, and he even admits it himself. He took a look at the notes that we do have for all the players, and he's like, oh, emotional player, yeah, that's right. I actually really am. And maybe, you know, the cockiness is one of the downsides to the emotion that he does have when he does play. But in the meantime, BaSe does have that heavy, does have the Mega yet again. He actually has the timing on both. And Strenx is going to be spotted out. He doesn't have his sight up just yet, but you can see the nail gun doing some sick damage. I think that was about 80 there. The rail's going to connect, still has that blood pool to keep healthy. All that armor and all that stack that BaSe had is just obliterated.
Yeah, that's really nice. He's got rid of so much armor. Thing is, BaSe has just picked up the big armor himself. So Strenx is still sitting on the back end of the map. And he's realized, look, okay, I'm 2 rounds up, but I've got a chance to get this first map 3-0. I do not want to mess it up. He's playing quite, it's almost like it's gone reverse. He played very quickly at the beginning of the map, and now the closer it is to that goal, he's slowing it down.
Do you think that change in play style is going to catch BaSe off guard from being aggressive to passive?
It's more the fact that it's about Strenx now picking his fight really wisely. He's trying to find, okay, this fight I've maybe only got a 30% chance to win or a 50% chance to win. He's trying to create a scenario where it's 100%. And this isn't a very effective way of doing that, taking 2 rails. He's in trouble there. Wow, that was phenomenally close. And now he needs to buy some information so he knows where he can walk on the map. I can't believe he went in there.
Why did BaSe charge into that? He knew he was spotted out. I think he used his own visor at the same time, his own sight to actually see him, that piercing sight. And you're looking for the pickups yet again. He's going to get the Mega health with relative ease. About 40 seconds to go before we do hit that sudden death. But again, with 1 champion left, it's sudden death anyways. More importantly for BaSe, though, he needs to win this round to keep his first map hopes alive.
And this is his map pick as well. So he's going to expect to perform a little better in this and get a better result than what the 3-0 sweep for Strenx. 1 rail for Strenx. That's going to be the armor for BaSe. And he should be able to try and control that Mega health on top of that. And still, I feel like Strenx has really set up a tent in this room. He feels like he's been here forever. He's only got the rail, and he really wants to get himself on either the rockets or the lightning gun, but he's not rushing it. He's not compromising his life in order to get those weapons. He's not that desperate.
I do like the way BaSe was playing, though. Only about 10 seconds, we do see them actually go for a little bit of skirmish. But he, in prior, rounds and prior, champions, he was being really aggressive when maybe he shouldn't have. But this time, he was really more respectful. He kept his composure. He realized, yeah, okay, I cannot afford to lose this one since we're into the 3rd round. Maybe just play a little bit more passive, Don't invest into a fight that you can't win, as you mentioned before, that Strenx is currently doing.
But BaSe is absolutely doing the right thing. The amount of times he's managed to get Strenx low, he's controlling the big items on the map. He's doing exactly what he needs to try and get this win. It's all about just finishing that job.
So, potential for a little skirmish. Having flashbacks to Dewey versus Chance here. Not quite at 11 minutes just yet, but we might get there.
Some time to go, yeah.
Still see the rails being shot off, and it looks like BaSe is not able to connect this first one. Maybe being forced back again, playing a lot more passive this time, respecting the damage that Strenx can do, and respecting at the stage of the game that we're in, most importantly.
Oh yeah, completely. But this is, again, a little bit heartbreaking for BaSe if he loses this one. You lose a long round going straight into the next map. You need to get over that a little bit.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, the mental game, like the defeat of having like a long sudden death and then having to play again right away.
Ow.
How do you come back from that? And that damage is doing some serious work here. BaSe is going to be on the run, and Strenx isn't going to go for the chase. Not really maybe feeling the fight here, but the LG knocked him back in the air, and he gets the kill though with the rocket launcher.
Unbelievable.
And Strenx secures the first map here in this series.
Now, you had 2-3 minutes, I don't know, maybe more, where BaSe had control of the map. He was taking the rotations on the Mega health, on the big armor, and he was getting rails. He was even taking Strenx down to maybe 20-30 health at times and forcing him in that upper small armor room. And he still manages, Strenx still manages to turn that around and get the victory himself. It's just unbelievable. He's hitting 57% rail. He's got 62% LG, but he's not fired very much of it, so take what you will. There was still a great armor. Sorry, you could see the item control was heavily in BaSe's favor, but Strenx's aim.
So is that maybe the exciting thing to you about Quake Champions and about playing and watching is the fact that you can have control of the map for such a long time, but if you have someone who can be like a godlike aimer, that one shot can completely turn the tides of the entire map.
Oh, completely. It goes back to Quake Live as well, where you could get those 200 stacks by controlling the map, but if you're not reaping the rewards from doing that and getting the frags, then there's still that chance that they can turn it around. They can land that nice trap. They can maybe force you into a side of the map where suddenly they can start taking the control back. Sometimes the control swings will happen without a frag even happening, but in that instance, you feel like you had a job, one job, you had control, you had everything else, all the other plans were ticked off, and you just couldn't secure the frag, and that probably bites you the hardest.
So if you're BaSe there, or no, if you're looking at that, you know, since you're a pro player, I don't see ZSX anymore. That one. I'm always saying that when he's not here. Do you put the blame on BaSe then, who had the advantage and had the control of the map for not being aggressive when he did hit those shots, or would you have played it the same way?
I put the blame on BaSe from the earlier parts of the map more so. I think he could have carried on being patient. He obviously felt like he had to do something because Strenx was playing very defensively and very effectively at the defensive play. So honestly, I'd look back at the earlier rounds as being the bigger issue because that was far more a coin flippy situation to lack of better description.
It's actually interesting. I've never seen Nyx die that easily. You know, what we've seen in this matchup. I mean, you have a Ghost Walk, you have your oh crap button, for God's sake, not say another word. You can run away, but it seems like either he was getting caught and not using it quick enough, or he was being forced to use it well, I can't say too often because obviously you're limited by cooldown, but he was gotten too many situations where he needed it too much to rely on.
He was sometimes very sensitive to use it. I remember on the first round, he used it, even though he wasn't railable, as soon as he saw Strenx coming out the corridor, there wasn't even a clear shot at all. He just popped it and ran away. And like, you had higher ground still. You could have maneuvered elsewhere and saved it for later use, and it wasn't really in a situation where you could have played it aggressively. So we're going to need to see some significant improvements now from BaSe.
We are seeing Clutch though, so maybe BaSe going back to a comfort zone here. Remember, if you haven't played the game within the last 2 days, there was a change to Clutch. If you want to go into that for us and all the changes that happened to him in particular in this last
So they removed his absorption when he's standing still or moving slowly, and I think we just saw Strenx realize that he was there on that occasion. He's also had some minor changes to the shield so that it increases the chance that it's going to be blocking all of the projectiles coming this way, and he's also increased the cooldown of the shield from 30 seconds to 40 seconds.
Well, you can see the Rocket doing some serious work here. The Dower trying to come through looking for the frag there, but he's not going to get it. He's going to go for the challenge on heavy armor, but he sneaks it away from him and escapes with the Mega's still up, and he switches the LG, and we know how impactful an LG can be up against such a big hitbox model of someone like Clutch.
You used your shield, you were still in the open area. Strenx has got a lightning gun. I mean, even at the best of times, you just don't go against Strenx with a lightning gun.
BaSe back on the Nyx now. He's taking a lot of damage. He's actually locked into a corner here, but for some reason Strenx is going for the challenge, I guess because Ghost Walk was popped. And BaSe was able to escape this time. Also, Clutch did have a minor change in terms of health and armor, where he did drop 50 HP, but has an increase of 50 armor. But it does make him a lot more squishy, and you can see again, BaSe just, the aggression's constantly coming his way. He has 23 health, but he has nowhere to run. He has no Ghost Walk to use. But can he hit these shots? Can he turn this around? He has 16 HP left here. Strenx, is he going to back off, or is he going to commit? Well, we got our answer there.
I'm not sure why BaSe went out again. He actually managed to block Strenx away for all those fights when Strenx should have gotten the easy frag. But in the end, it goes down anyway, and it's just one champion to go for BaSe on this first round of map 2.
Not looking good at all here for BaSe. Switch to the Clutch to try something a little bit different. Obviously, Rayo not going to be on this map. Here's we're on to Corrupted Keep. Still, the Clutch not really working out, not really in that ace in the hole that he needs so far.
Yeah, it's definitely not had any impact just yet. LG versus LG. BaSe actually being aggressive and forcing that respect from Strenx. It's a good stack for BaSe. Maybe there is something that he can do on this particular round.
Well, if anything, Strenx has given him the opportunity to, right? Because he's not trying to shove this last kill. I think he shot a midi, a sick midi for you phrase out there if you're watching that. And a nice shot in midair, if you're not familiar with the Australian terms.
Love it.
Yeah, I passed with him once, and he said, you got to say this, sick midi. But I'm not even saying it right, it's like sick midi.
No, I can respect that a lot. I've been trying to get into the European scene as well, but some people
we'll do it together.
Yeah, good. I'm down with MIDI, absolutely.
Well, in the meantime, though, BaSe able to get a little bit healthy here, get his stack back up. But again, Strenx is looking to push his aggression back onto him. And that's what I was trying to say before, is that BaSe is being given a chance, I feel like, because Strenx isn't being super aggressive. But at the same time, Strenx doesn't need to because he has that 2-champion lead.
Yeah, Strenx can play as passively as he'd like at the moment. It's like, oh great, you got an item, did you? That's nice. And just move away. It's like you have to do, pull the aggression yourself. You got to make a play. That was a great rocket by BaSe.
Not to mention, Visor's not as mobile as a Ranger.
No, exactly.
So very difficult to catch Strenx once you do the damage to him to finish off that kill.
It's not just the fact that you don't have the Dire Orb, it's also you don't have the huge damage reduction from self-damage. So even rocket jumping around the map, it costs a lot more health.
LG's coming through, doing some serious work.
Wow.
He's finally able to get the frag onto him and at least eliminate one champion from the pool of Strenx. Well done here by BaSe, but again, he's got a long way to go and not a lot of time to do it. 1:30 left remaining. Does Strenx just use his Ghost Walk right away? There's not a lot of HP left on BaSe, so it's going to come down to these rockets being landed in the air, and he hits direct and kills BaSe. He gets round number 1 on the board here in our second map.
Oh, very well done. BaSe getting caught out quite a lot by those health bombs. I don't think he was expecting an aggressive push so soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair play, Strenx. Very nicely done there. Almost got the midi as well. Finish the job off.
Exactly, and the thing was that you pointed out perfectly. Strenx was playing so passive, but once he got that Nyx, he went, snap, I'm going to get aggressive, I'm going to get in your face, and you're not going to expect it.
No, a very good point to make. He just changed gears completely. It's something you definitely you'd hear in earlier Quake lives. It's being able to change gears and adapt the situation, and then not being predictable at the same time. Because if someone knows your routine, knows how you're traversing the map and how you plan your attacks, you're too easy to read. Oh, thought he's gonna get pushed out the map.
He does survive to fight another day and also pick up a mega help for his troubles. Say BaSe is going to be able to stay in the game for now here, as he's looking to potentially not get fragged the first time. He's lost his first champion every single round so far here against Strenx.
He's looking for just a single round.
That as well.
That would be great for him at this point, one step at a time.
Yeah, I'm getting a little far ahead of myself here, I guess, at this rate. But he doesn't have Ghost Walk anymore, and he might be chased out with the LG yet again. Nyx, very small model to hit, but Strenx is making it look easy. And there you go, that's one man now down again, or one woman. The BaSe is bringing the clutch back out again. But we've already seen what the LG can do to this.
Let's see how effective or ineffective this champion proves to be versus Strenx. I feel it might be more against the player on this occasion than necessarily the meta. Got that lightning gun, but it's all about the rockets at this point. Whoa, the Dire Orb came out and actually did a significant amount of damage to him.
But Strenx going for the chase, that's the real question. I mean, it's going to be really hard to do against Clutch since you are very fast and easy to get around the map, but with no shield, Strenx wants to really hammer home that LG to pick up this second frag here this round.
He's trying to make his way slowly to those hourglasses up at the top, where he'll probably have his cooldown back. And I'm not a huge fan from Strenx because he's kind of given him enough time to get around those hourglasses, but there's still 5 seconds until that's up again. This is very well calculated by Strenx. I was worried his aggression wasn't going to come out, and he just threw that in my face right there.
That's
and
just experience, though, right? That was 100% experience out of Strenx. To know your shield's on cooldown, I know the direction you're going, and I'm going to chase you down and kill you. There was like 3 seconds till you had a shield, which you might have been able to survive to fight.
That's how these guys are almost like human calculators sometimes with just how they get their timing so pristine and perfect.
Sound a little envious. I definitely am. Again, going on the chase here, Strenx, he wants to hammer home the second round, and he's going to do it just like that. BaSe has no chance, and Strenx is 1 round away from taking this map and taking this game.
And getting himself over to the Quake World Championship at Quake on that is something that he's going to be.
That's nice
it's a minor. It's just a small added bonus. It's not just pure victory. There's
exactly.
And I'm sure we saw how he looked earlier, and if he manages to win this round, there will be smiles all around, I'm sure.
Well, and then again, he also can potentially qualify twice coming into tomorrow playing for Alliance.
And that would be absolutely huge for him. He is gunning for it. Well, okay, both abilities used at the same time.
I like the position, though. Does go through the teleporter. If you're Nyx and you run through teleport even while Ghost Walk, you still are heard, and this shotgun's not going to be enough, though, so BaSe finally gets the frag. Now, the question for us is, this is the first time he's gotten the first frag in a round. What is he going to do off the back of this to keep this lead, right?
Well, he needs to get himself, just stack up that armor a little bit, but there's another attack from Strenx. This might hurt a lot. Here it comes. He's got armor himself, and he might want to push. Got to respect that lightning gun. And that actually is going to be the reverse attack on this occasion.
Just use the aggression against him. Strenx, you got too aggressive, but the shotgun comes up. Big BaSe overextends just by a hair. And Strenx will tie things up now. Fire's being picked up to go up against Strenx here on the Nyx. Doesn't have Ghost Walk for another 20 seconds. But I don't know if the piercing sight was used just yet.
I'm not sure, but it's as if BaSe is trying to use the Strenx tactics against him, and Strenx is just saying, well, anything you can do, I can do better. So why are you doing this? Come up with something else. Come up with something that you made up. And BaSe's aggression really needs to be tamed a bit more. And be very careful. BaSe in a lot of trouble, but he's done a huge amount of damage to Strenx, and Strenx is going to give respect. This is something that BaSe doesn't do so much. When he's weak, he still sees sort of blood in his eyes, red anyway, and goes in for the kill, no matter what. And Strenx is always going to punish him for that.
Well, BaSe did use his piercing sight there to spot out Strenx, using that ghost walk to get in the position earlier on, so he knew he had no escape, but he didn't have the chase, and he doesn't have a lot of mistakes left to make here before he potentially is knocked out completely from this tournament, from these regionals here over in Europe, in the UK. My first time being here actually for in my life.
Oh,
enjoying it
nice.
so far, minus the rain, gray skies. Everything else I'm enjoying.
Well, we've got another attack, I think. The Ghost Walk was just used a moment ago, but it seemed to be not resulting in anything on that occasion.
Nice little preemptive rocket, though. Looking for the chase again with the HMG. He's not able to get, again, he's able to get damage in. Like, he's able to get control of the map with some damage, but he's not finalizing these kills. And I still feel like Visor's not going to be one of those champions that allows you to really do that.
It's going to be whether or not he can zone Strenx around the map, or if he can force the cooldown out early and either use that piercing sight while that Ghost Walk's being used, or at another point after it's been used.
Oh, Strenx wants it. He wants to hit that midi, but he's not going to have a chance here for now. Misses that first shot. And we did see BaSe earlier on. He tried to fire off a rocket towards Strenx, but he was out of ammo. He actually missed the pickup for ammo and had to go back for it. And there's the sick midi coming through.
Love it. That was decent. Very nicely done, Strenx. And to be fair, I don't think BaSe picked his fight too badly just then. It's just, you've got to be landing better shots.
Oh no, BaSe is stuck in the corner. He's got the shield too, so at least he has the opportunity to escape from this, but if he keeps taking this chip damage, it's going to be the death of him.
This is really bad for him. You're always, the long-range game is always going to be won by the smaller champion on that occasion. There's so much to aim at when you go against the clutch, and the shield wasn't used. He needs to find a way to collect those resources as quickly as possible.
Again, another 30 damage. You know, it's yeah, 15 here, 15 there, but it does add up over time, and it does change the way you have to play when you're the person taking that damage. He does steal away the mega health there. And BaSe, he's looking in trouble here. This is the last champion of his tournament life. He does pop the shield here, and this is looking really bad for him, Zoot.
Yeah, even though Ghost Walk's been used as well, it's just the fact that if Strenx can find him in the middle of a room where there's no escape route or anything like that, BaSe is absolutely screwed. Excuse my terms.
No, that's fine. I like it. Being just honest, you know? Not beating around the bush.
It's good what BaSe has been doing because he's given himself escape routes, but the fact that he's now up at the LG exit, this is dangerous, and Strenx is weighing up the options as to is it worth chasing through. Shield shouldn't be up. Great rocket.
15
oh,
HP.
No. Just walk in with the gauntlet, Strenx. Oh, he's not doing it.
I like it, though. I mean, because there's two win conditions for him. He either kills BaSe when he has no HP and wins, or he holds on for another 40 seconds and he wins anyways. BaSe has to come to him, and that leads you to open to making a lot more mistakes here for the attacking person.
Yeah, true. Strenx can smell victory.
Oh, that's almost going to do it here. That 60 damage coming through. 30 seconds left. Ghost Walk can be popped to back away. And the HMG coming out another time. No health remaining. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Strenx will qualify for QuakeCon, taking down BaSe here in the loser bracket.
I can hear the screams of joy just there.
That was their manager you heard, actually.
Strenx is going to be so happy with that. And you know what? He made it look pretty easy at the end of the day. I don't know if BaSe was feeling a little bit nervous, was getting in his head quite a lot. I've definitely seen better performances from him, but Strenx was just all around solid. Not only did he adjust to BaSe's game style very quickly, but I mean, he absolutely dominated, walked all over him in that regards.
And, you know, looking, you know, forward to the people who already do have qualified, you know, Strenx, if you were to weigh up his chances against the rest of Europe and the potentials for North America, we obviously know.
There's no potentials.
There's no potential. Really? I mean, I feel like there's probably almost the most winningest player in Quake.
Just, yeah, okay, when you look at, okay, great, we've got one or two great players, and then the field of, the field of slightly dead flowers, and then Europe coming along with an army. Sure, Rafa's been known to slay armies still, but
haven't you seen that Pepsi commercial where one can of Pepsi can, you know, turn around a riot? At least, you know, one flower could be enough to
maybe, and you know, Europeans are always going to be fearing Rafa, but Strenx, I mean, he's got a great shot at actually making it very far at the Quick World Championships at QuakeCon.
There's a lot of pressure off his shoulders too, right?
Yes.
Because you don't want to go into tomorrow to play in sacrifice knowing you just lost in your DueL